And welcome back. Okay, so you all head back to your hotel. It takes a few hours between the train and the and car, but you make it back to your hotel. When you get back, your concierge flags you down and hands you a telegram.
Okay. We look at it.
And here you are. Telegram is from Jan Wilhelm van Hoevelen. It says, I heard you were looking for me. Stop. I understand you might have some skills in translating old works. Stop. Perhaps we can help each other. Meet at Street of Moths, number 161.
Okay. Excellent.
That
There's
is.
no meeting time, right?
What's that?
I don't see a meeting time on.
He does not specify a time.
What's today?
Today
Is that
is
Cairo?
Today is
We-
Saturday the 14th.
Right, that's what I
It's
thought.
evening right now.
It is evening, yes. Yeah, it's
Before or
it's,
after
it's
that?
late. It's late in the evening. It's probably about 9 o'clock at night by the time you make it back on the train.
I think it's
Yeah, and
Sunday then.
he sent this message the day before 7:30 at night, so it was late in the day yesterday.
Yeah, you would guess you probably just missed this telegram coming in when, or that the concierge tells you just missed the telegram arriving at the hotel when you and Salim headed out first thing in the morning.
Well, first, maybe the concierge can tell us. Is this a residential area or hotels there? Do you know?
Uh, it's a residential area. There's a marketplace in that general vicinity.
Well, I think it's probably too late, gentlemen. What do you say tomorrow?
Yeah. Let's
That
get
works
clean.
for me.
Let's have a late dinner and clean up. Or we'll have dinner. Or do we want dinner delivered up to the room?
I'm assuming you ate on the train back.
A train. Oh, okay.
Nightcaps?
Yeah, probably that would be nightcaps. Or some nightcaps.
No thanks, I don't wear them.
Okay. Anything else that you're planning to do tonight? Or are we fast forwarding to tomorrow morning?
No, I don't think so. By this time point, I think most of us should be up to snuff.
Nope.
Oh, you're
I
still.
really took a beating.
Okay, well,
Sorry to hear that.
Sunday morning you wake up with 2 more hit points back.
Ooh, one away.
Okay. It is Sunday morning. What is your plan, gentlemen?
Get our stuff together, have a light breakfast, and head to Street of Moths, number 161.
Are you heading to the Street of Moths? Or are you heading someplace else?
You might want to take this. Is the museum open on Sunday?
That is a good question.
I thought we were
Because we
going
may
to
want to
Giza.
take this piece that we found. Well, that's true too, but I don't think we could set up a Giza trip for Sunday. Plus, I really wanted to talk to this guy before we went to Giza anyway. The guy in moths.
Yeah, we need to get some information on this tablet that we just picked up. So either you can show that to the museum, see if that's part of something. Maybe von Wilhelm knows what that came from.
Yes, the museum is open on Sunday.
Yeah, let's go to the museum so we can take this box over there.
The museum opens at 9.
Yeah, we put the is the box fit into a briefcase?
Well, did you take the reed? It was a reed basket that it was in.
Oh no, we didn't take the reed basket. We probably would have covered it with a sackcloth or something. And
So all you have.
how big is it?
It was, I think, 7 inches by 5 inches is what I told you.
All right, and how thick?
7 inches by 9 inches and several inches thick.
All right, we could probably carry it in like a briefcase, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll carry it in a briefcase then. A little one of those little leather satchel cases. And we will head back to the museum.
Okay. You head over to the museum and see your dear friend, Dr. Kafour.
Mm-hmm. We have come when we see him, and when we're with him alone, I say, well, we were able to meet the Nori lady. We weren't able to get much from her because she had been taken spoken word wise, but she did give us this. As I open the leather satchel and pull out delicately the stone.
Okay. So he looks it over and gives you kind of the information that Jesse had already figured out. He says, well, to me, this looks like it is the limestone that was used for facing on the pyramids. But given its color, it could only have come from the Red Pyramid at Dashur. The symbol is incomplete, but it is a protective sign of, I would guess, of great power. Typically, there would be the Eye of Horus would be complete, and there would be an Ankh on either side of it, one face up and one face down.
Sorry to betray my ignorance, but you keep going Red Pyramid. I take it that that's not a common color for the pyramids.
No, it was built by Sneferu in the 4th dynasty. As I mentioned to you before, Sneferu was the one who slew Nephron Ka, and he built 3 pyramids in his time, supposedly to protect us from the Black Pharaoh's wrath. He built the first one, and was going to put the pharaoh's body in it, but the pyramid collapsed. So he built the second pyramid quickly. It's called the Bent Pyramid. And the Black Pharaoh's body is supposedly entombed in there. Then he built the third pyramid, the Red Pyramid, at Dashur. and that is supposed to protect Egypt from the magic of the Black Pharaoh returning. It troubles me that this ward of protection, which could only have come from the Red Pyramid, seems to have been destroyed.
That ain't good.
Are all
Yeah,
location of all three of these pyramids known? I know some have been.
Yes, and I believe he told you this already. Let me
Okay.
get to that page here, because so the collapsed pyramid was built at Medium. The second pyramid, the bent pyramid, is at Dashur, and Nephron Ka's corpse was removed from Medium and placed within the bent pyramid. But exploration of the site has discovered no trace, despite rumors of a hidden chamber within. Also at Dashur is the Red Pyramid, and that is said to guard Dashur lest Nephron Ka rise from the dead.
Sounds to me like we need to check out the Red Pyramid first, if that's got the probably some artifacts that'll help us protect ourselves from Nephron Ka.
So, Alistair knows that life as a god refers to the bent pyramid in it.
Right, I'm guessing that's where the evil mojo is. We might be able to find some good mojo at the Red Pyramid. Maybe the other part of this stone would help protect us. So I'm thinking we need to meet with von Wilhelm and then set up our trip to the Red Pyramid.
Well, actually, I thought we were going to go to Giza because I want to check out, because that's where the thing he had investigated. So I want to talk to him, then go to Giza, then we can go to the Red. I was thinking, but we could do the other way around.
Actually, it sounds like we need to meet with von Wilhelm first so that we can figure out what was going on.
Who would do that?
So let's go
your
meet with the
plan?
guy.
what is your you're still here in the museum. Is there anything else that you would like from Dr. Kafour?
Trying to think, is there any news about any news locally that we should be aware of? Since he would be much more aware than we are of.
Nothing of consequence. Have you made it over to the back to the Mosque of Ibn Tulan yet?
No, I want to do that. Just trying to set up a what's it called again? A translator and guide. Dragoman.
Well, I would suggest that if what Faraz told you is true, and that the Brotherhood is trying to steal something from the mosque, you might not want to sit on that information too long.
All right. Well, then we'll try to head from here. See if we can get a taxi from there to here. Shall we do that, gentlemen? With the rest of the day, we got.
I think we should talk to the gentleman first that sent us the telegram. Then
Well,
maybe he can give us some information because we still have no idea what we're going to do at the mosque. Really?
Yes, we do. We want to talk to Nasser.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get to him, we can say what we really know.
Okay.
So we're going to try to do it that way. We're going to take a taxi to the one mosque.
Right, and if the cultists are after something there, we shouldn't wait too long because we might miss them taking whatever we need to protect and get.
We basically need to find our juju house or spice house.
Hell in a bit, but this is now the third time we're gonna go poke around here.
All right.
It's only the second time.
I have a funny feeling there's multiple issues here in Egypt. Just from the feel of it, this sounds much more dangerous. So yeah, we're going to head to the mosque and we're going to ask to see the Nasir.
Very well. You head over to the mosque.
They should recognize us from the people who donated a good portion of money. So I will say that I would like to speak to the spiritual hero, the man that takes care of the spirit, the Nasser.
Okay. There he is. Okay. So after a little while, a man comes out. And introduces himself as Ahmed al-Dahabi. And
I asked him
he
in
says,
my Arabic to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sure. He said, well, he says, gentlemen, I'm a busy man. Normally, I wouldn't come out for tourists to begin with, but I understand that you made a couple of helpful donations, so I can spare you a few minutes, but not long.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk to you privately?
What is it you wish to speak of?
Is there anyone around?
It's no, there's no one. You're still out front, but you've stepped away from the the window where the administrator is.
Yes, I said we have fairly solid information that something that you have here at the mosque at is desired by and I say a dark cult in Egypt.
So he stares at you hardly for a moment, and then says, "All right, come with me." And he takes you inside the mosque, and you go through a large set of doors away from the main medical facility into an older section of the building, and up some stairs, and he takes you to a small office. This area is stone and mortar. You can tell that this is definitely the old part of the building. And he says, "Now, what is it that you think you know?"
I said, we have been, and now that we're alone, I've been told by a good friend to let the truth hang where it may here. We have been, we have discovered about the Dark Pharaoh organization in England. We have followed the trail here. We know from a certain merchant, I mentioned merchant's name, who had sold stuff to the Carlisle expedition, from a certain cult leader, that they are now interested in something that is in this very mosque. And that we want to make you aware of it, that they are, we know that this place is being watched as we speak. We had been here a couple days before and had noticed several people watching this place with more than just normal intent.
So he smiles at you and says, "I will tell you that there is an artifact within the mosque, but it's safely guarded from all comers. The evil ones shall not have it. Inshallah."
Inshallah. And I go, yes, but at least I have warned you ahead of time. They will use any nefarious means, and
They've already
I hate
tried.
have they started
They
using?
were easily repelled.
Yes, but this group is willing to use spiritual and mystical forces as well. We have seen such things in England.
I'm not worried about people running around in robes with inverted ankhs.
No, we're talking about things with wings. And I give a description of what we saw in England.
He looks at you as if you might be a little bit off your head, and says, I hear about some of these things from some of my patients. Are you sure that you might not be in need of a room here?"
I may one day be in need of one, but unfortunately, not yet. We do offer our services in case you need them. we too want to prevent them from getting anything that would promote their cause. And I want to at least make sure that you were aware. So they did recently attempt to do something.
Yes, they sent some people in to try to take the artifact, but they were easily dispatched.
Well, you do know that, sometimes they think it's here, and it's here right now. But have you thought about possibly moving it to another location with them?
There's no
without them
place
knowing?
safer than here.
Okay. Well, I had to ask.
So he says, let me call one of my associates in, and he rings a little bell, and a young boy comes up, and he says, in Arabic, he says to the boy, send in FT. So after a little while, another old man arrives, and he's easily in his late 80s, early 90s. He's has a neatly groomed white beard, but there's a lively sparkle in his eyes despite his age. And he's introduced as Nassim FT. And Ahmed says, Nassim, these European gentlemen seem to have come warning us that someone's trying to steal the artifact. I told them that we repelled those supposed devotees of the Black Pharaoh, but they seem very concerned that we've not heard the end of it.
Well, we were the start of our journey was in New York. We dealt with a sect there. We followed the trail to England, dealt with another sect, and we followed the trail here. And to be honest, we've yet to truly get a handle on their activities here beyond the fact that they are coming after something here.
We're aware that people talk of the Black Pharaoh, but it was a scourge destroyed long ago by the power of Allah, as was the order that worshipped him.
Well,
we feel that there may be some people playing at this, but we have trouble believing that the power is real.
Well, I can understand that unless one sees their activities in full, but their devotion and insane dedication is too real, and the numbers thereof. We've escaped with our lives by the grace of God many times. But what we'd appreciate is if you could put us, do you have any idea where they might be originating? We would be glad to track them down to their source. We think that this started up again, some connection with the Carlisle expedition originally.
I've heard of the Carlisle expedition. I do agree that they stirred up some ancient evil which threatens the spirits of many men, but I have trouble believing that it was this Black Pharaoh. Honestly, I think it's just... I think these men who broke into our place, there was nothing supernatural about them. They just had robes with ankhs on them. I think they were just trying to play on superstition.
Well, can we agree either way to at least deal with them somehow is the best thing that should happen? You know, whether or not you believe you give them any credence for their abilities or whatnot, we should definitely end the problem. As I said, if you can give us any direction, any place that we can track them down, we would like to.
I know nothing about who these men were, but they were...
I would even say that we're willing to help you out with security if you need it.
We have... The artifact is under armed guard 24 hours a day. The people who guard it, this is a sacred duty. We will not fail.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and we felt it was our duty to at least warn you.
Here's our contact information. If for somehow you get in touch, find out where these might be coming from, please let us know. We'd be glad to go to the source and cut it out at the root, if you understand our meaning.
I understand that you think that there's something to this. I myself believe that there is evil stirring. I have trouble believing that it has anything to do with these men who came a week ago.
But there must be some sort of organization to them. Or
The boys who came here trying to get in, there was no organization.
Haphazard?
Yes. They were not organized. There was no serious threats.
Was any detained by the authorities or anything to their identity?
No. As soon as they ran into our armed resistance, they fled quickly.
No. Well, again, you have our contact information, and that we've provided. Be glad to let you again, if you come across anything that you think that proves that they are organized in some degree. Please.
Yeah.
What is it that you hope to do for us? What do you think that you can do?
We want to find out who's organizing this branch, shut them down as we move on to the next one to find, and our ultimate goal is to find out the truth behind the Carlisle expedition. We're doing it for a friend that was killed in New York. He was investigating the Carlisle expedition, and that led to his death at the hand of the cult. Branch there.
I am sorry for your loss, but again, I'd need some more... What can you give me for concrete information that would make me believe in that?
You may wish to.
There's...
You may wish you may wish to talk to the curator at the museum. And I mentioned his name. He's the one that told us to give you the straight and narrow of the situation.
I know of this Dr. Kafour. I know his reputation.
Also, if you can find him, there was a merchant, and I mentioned the merchant's name, and who had dealings with the same dark cult, and they sent something after him. I'm not sure what. It could have been nothing, but him and his street say demons, fiery demons attacked his place. Now, that could have been just cultists with torches, but, you know, please talk to the curator if you get a chance, and so that you know that we're on the up and up about trying to help you.
Would you happen to know what this artifact is making them want it so badly? What is it? What do they think it could be used for?
Without broaching your secrecy.
It is a powerful religious artifact.
All right. Shall we? I say, well, I appreciate you taking the time, and I say, please contact the curator, and he can give you a better lowdown of the situation. And we appreciate you at least hearing us and taking the time for us. And I wish both of you, and I look to the older gentleman, bow politely and with respect. I say, I expect dark times are coming, and it's best to gird yourself appropriately.
We are always on guard against the darkness. But if there's something specific that you think that you can do to help, what would that be?
Okay. You know what? Since we're not getting anywhere, and I'm not thinking talking in circles, I'm just gonna try a psych roll. Probably fail it, but see if I can figure out what the hell he wants us to say. No idea.
Okay.
An idea thing.
Not real sure,
Okay.
And I'm not prepared to spend that much luck. Make it.
I thought that kind of thing was an idea roll, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was an idea roll too, but that might be he's.
You could. I mean, you can make an idea roll as well.
All right, I'll try.
What's an idea roll?
Intelligence.
Straight intelligence?
Straight intelligence.
Well,
So,
Ooh, I got a hard success.
we both got hard.
so you feel like you've got two choices here. You can either you'll probably need to do, you think you got a little bit of credit from them after you mentioned Dr. Kafour's name. You could make the offer again to try and help them with the guarding of this artifact. Or, alternatively, you could try to steal this artifact first before the Brotherhood does.
I don't like that idea, especially if they're watching it.
Those you think are really your only two options. Either hope that you've got enough bona fides to,
I will attempt to make the offer again.
try to get Kafour on the phone with them to maybe a meeting of the minds or whatever.
All right, why don't we do that? Get Kafour on a phone and see if there could be a meeting of the minds. I'll be right back, gentlemen. My cat is going nuts.
Okay. So you
Second.
you convince them
Is a
that
dog out there? Dog.
that they
There's a
should,
dog out there.
give Dr. Kafour a ring. So they call over to the. So Ahmed picks up the phone and calls over to the museum, and you hear one side of the conversation. Says, yes, I have these gentlemen here who claim that you sent them over to me. They're telling me these strange stories about that this Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh is coming for something valuable here,
Sorry there, gentlemen.
and so then there's a long pause on the phone, and so he switches to Arabic, and Lewis, you'd need a hard roll because he's talking very quickly and in a older dialect. So you don't know what you can't really pick out everything he's saying.
Yeah, it's going too fast.
It's going
bits
too
and
fast.
Pieces.
But there's he's using some older religious words that that you can pick out here and there, and eventually he switches back to English and says, all right, thank you, doctor, and he hangs up the phone and looks at Nassim and says, Dr. Kafour told me some disturbing things. I know enough about the history of the Black Pharaoh. I know about some of the things hidden things, secret things. And he confirmed some of those things to me as things that he's heard and seen. I'm willing to believe that you have our best interest at heart. If you would like to help us, I can't tell you. It's a secret to the church. I can't tell you what it is you're guarding, but I can let you help with that if you feel that the danger is imminent.
Be honest, I feel better off by not knowing.
I suspect if they tried once, they're probably going to try to do something else. How long ago did they attack?
It was a week ago.
And they probably are. It's going to be. They're probably going to do it soon. Probably based on when's the next major. Usually, it's either full or new moon. Which one's coming next?
Well, the full moon just passed, but it was not the night of the full moon that the crime happened, or the attempted crime.
No, but certain rites. If they're going to do something, I'm thinking a lot of this has to do with lunar cycles. One is one of the major things for either full or new coming up.
Well, the full moon just passed, as I said. The next new moon is the night of the 24th into the 25th.
I said.
And it's the 15th now.
Gentlemen, do we wish to have a couple people stationed here at nights or what?
I think that probably might be a good idea.
All right. All right. Then we will come back later on this evening and have a couple of us stay here with you. Or do we want to do it as a whole team? Or do we want to shift off part of the group one night, part of the group another night?
Strength in numbers.
All right. So the whole group?
Yeah.
All right.
Always split the party.
No, don't split the party. All right. So we will.
Come on, we've learned that lesson by now.
we will come back before this evening. We have one more person to see in our investigation, and then we will come back for this evening.
Very well.
And Robbie Einik, which is basically, may God have his eye on you.
Okay.
And so we now try to get to what our Dutchman.
Okay.
As we leave, I'm going to be, as we're heading out, I'm going to see if we're being followed. Or try to see if we're being followed. And so, because I'm quite sure we're going to be starting to be followed soon with all this stuff we're doing. But
Well,
I
let's
don't
just
notice.
Look to see if anybody's watching this place. I think first off, too.
Well, I'm going to take my role as both.
We cannot make a spot hidden to save our lives today.
You guys think that everything's on the up and up. No one knows about this place.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It happens.
no one knows about you. You're all good. Okay.
There was a
Right.
shift change.
Dang all those people on Roll20.
Hey, Cree. Hey, Cree, since you're here, Martin's box all the way to the right. There's no black box around the text. I just noticed that last session, and I meant to email you and forgot. Is that something you can take care of for me when you get a second? Thanks, man. Okay, so you are heading over to the... What did I tell you it was? The Street of Moths?
Yes.
Okay. Very well. So you head over to the Street of Moths. Thanks, Cree. You realize that this is one of the poorest sections of the city that you've visited so far. You find room 116. There is it is a tailor's shop. When you arrive at the shop, there's a grizzled old tailor cursing in Arabic while shooing several cats out of the premises with a broom. He does not seem pleased that his lodger has visitors, but agrees to show you to the back room that Jan Hoevelen is renting. The Dutchman's tiny room contains a cot, a crude table and chair, a few innocuous books on Egyptian archaeology, an oil lamp, and a couple of candles jammed into wine bottles.
So typical single for a college dorm.
Pretty much, yep. So let me grab his token. Your friend Jan Wilhelm. Okay. So here is Jan Wilhelm von Huvelen. So he is in his early 40s, you would guess. Appears to be a bit haggard. It looks like he hasn't slept very well in some time. It also, you would guess that from the redness of his nose, that he has probably has a bit of a fondness for the drink. And he sees you come in and says, "Gentlemen, thank you for coming. I heard you were looking for me, and I think we might be able to be of use to each other."
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we
What
are,
is it you were looking for from me?
well, we're looking for, well, first of all, I'm Louis Lepin. I work for the newspaper, and it's a newspaper he might know because it's in um, Belgium, which is near the Netherlands. So I wanted to do a story about um, um, the recent incident at the digs, and you seem to be an excellent source for what happened there. But also, this group, we have several people who are doing research here, and they are going to require the needs of a translator of various um, materials they find that are going to find in Egypt.
I thought that you were translators. That was why I
Well,
needed
I
your
am.
services.
Yeah. Well, I'm a translator, so I do hieroglyphs.
I ask what he's looking for.
Yeah. How can we help you?
Well, I
Perhaps
have.
maybe you want to adjourn someplace. Like, is this a large room or a good visiting spot for like all
It's a little
6
bit cramped, but
Is there a bar or anything that we noticed on the way here? A place we can get a drink?
it's a very poor neighborhood. There's not a lot of hospitality places.
I I have an idea, gentlemen. Why don't we adjourn to maybe someplace we can get you a drink or two on that.
Ah,
And we can
yes,
talk.
that sounds like a great idea.
I look. By the way, I take a look at his surroundings, his room, everything else, just kind of get an idea of his digs.
So as I said, it's a tiny room. It contains a cot, a crude table and chair, a few innocuous books on Egyptian archaeology, an oil lamp, and a couple of candles jammed into wine bottles.
Shall we take him back to the hotel?
Well,
Someplace we can
gentlemen,
have
honestly, I'd rather not get too far afield here. If you're
Well,
going to
wait,
be of
it's-
help to me, then I, have some things here
Oh,
that
excellent.
I would like to talk with you about.
Well, is there some place that you'd recommend then that we should go and be?
There's nothing around here. This is a hellhole of a neighborhood. but it's the only thing that I can afford now because my savings are dwindling since
Well, let
being
us treat you.
dismissed from the
Is there a
Clive
place you might like to go?
expedition. As I said, I really feel like we should stay here so I can show you what I need your help with.
Okay,
Sure.
very good. Very
I'm not taking it out of my quarters, you
Too bad.
understand.
No,
good. Yeah, understand. Sorry, I did not realize that you meant you actually had physical items you'd like to show us. My apologies.
And we politely wait.
So he
I plan on getting him drunk.
he says I found something. I found a tiny forgotten temple, and in it I found a set of scrolls containing an unknown tract setting forth ancient Egyptian rituals. The scrolls must be at least 13th dynasty, if not earlier. I'm translating them now. A few more days, maybe a week, and I'll have them finished.
Are they in hieroglyphic form?
Yes, they are very ancient.
May I take a look, please?
I won't
To
show
help you, of course.
I won't show you the originals right now, but in his desk he pulls out a very large sheaf of handwritten papers and says, "This is what I'm working on. It is a and it appears to be a Dutch translation of what you do guess is a very ancient set of scrolls. It's quite a large volume that he's working on, so you would guess that the originals must be very large, especially given that it's hieroglyphics. And he tells you that this is going to make him rich, but it is slow going because it is such ancient Egyptian. Lewis, you speak Dutch, and so you're able to very quickly see that this is definitely a extremely old work, and it deals with the piece that you read deals with the worship of Bast, the cat goddess.
That would explain a couple things I saw outside as we were coming in. I go, very interesting. I might be able to help you with some of the translations. Yeah.
As conversation continues, a cat slinks into the room, and Von Hoevelen interrupts his speech to toss a spoon at it, and the startled cat bounds out of the room with a large yowl.
Careful here. You don't want to jinx your work. Remember, you are working on papers dealing with Bast.
He laughs and says, "I'm not a superstitious man."
But never hurts to be careful now, does it? Especially when you're dealing with paperwork like this. I read over it. Interesting. Yeah, I do believe I could try to help you with some of the translation. Now, could you tell me a little bit about your work with the Clive expedition? What exactly occurred?
Where'd you put the
You know,
Oh, Clive expedition. Bad luck, that whole thing. You know what? I will take you up on that drink. Let's we can go a few streets over. There's something to be gained.
Excellent. And we will follow his lead.
Okay. So he takes you to a pretty divey bar, and orders a bottle of red wine, and then says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did any of you want anything?"
Oh, yes. I will order some of the mint tea and a. Do they have anything that is even drinkable here in the way of alcohol?
Um, it's it's a divey bar, so it's certainly not going to be top shelf stuff, but you think it probably won't kill you.
All right, then I'll get myself a scotch or a whiskey.
They won't have
Oh.
scotch, but they've got
Whiskey.
something passing whiskey. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's,
I'll have one too.
It's
Small
definitely
batch 12-year bourbon.
it's
Order Pabst Blue Ribbon.
it's pretty rough stuff, but it gets the job done. Although it probably will take the paint off the walls as well.
Right.
Paint thinner.
So, in my estimation, would it make it better explosive than drink?
Yes, absolutely.
Sazerac.
I will sip mine while I let him imbibe while he tells us the story.
So he tells you that he attached himself to the Clive expedition when they arrived in Cairo, staying with them during their work at Giza. He was there when the tomb with the unidentified female mummy was discovered. He believes that the mummy was indeed Nitocris, but he doesn't really know anything about her. He then describes to you the mummy's disappearance. They discovered the casket, and they were in the process of making preparations for the removal in conjunction with the Egyptian authorities. 3 nights later, terrible screams echoed from inside the pyramid. When the archaeologists investigated, they found that the mummy, the sarcophagus, and the 2 Egyptian police guards were missing without a trace. The guards have not been found and are presumed dead. No one knows how the thieves succeeded in removing an alabaster sarcophagus weighing several hundred tons so quickly. It would have taken the expedition several days, yet from the time of the hideous cry to the time that the party entered the pyramid, no more than 20 minutes had elapsed.
One of my favorite country singers died of coronavirus.
Who died of coronavirus?
Who died of coronavirus?
Joe Diffie.
Joe Diffie.
Joe Diffie.
Oh, okay.
Far into the future.
Did
All
how
part of
long
a plan.
between? When was the last time before they had gathered there? People before the scream. How many was it? Minutes, hours?
20 minutes from the time that
20
the first scream came till we managed to get down to the
No. Before the scream. Like, when was the last time people were like sort of gathered there that you saw?
I mean, it had been hours, but the Egyptian police were guarding it 24 hours a day from the time that we found the sarcophagus.
So nobody could have gone in and
Inside job.
until yeah.
Was anything else found besides the sarcophagus, or are there other items, or just the sarcophagus? How'd they know? Who thought it was the mummy of Natrokla?
Pretty much everyone did. There were also some scrolls that were found. It was an ornate gold coffer containing papyrus scrolls. But I don't know what happened to those.
Now,
They were, as far as I know, they appeared to be in very good shape and were quite legible. And we were hoping to go over them to find out exactly who the mummy was, but I believe it was Queen Nitocris. Clive wasn't so sure.
what were some of the other party members like? Like Clive and the others.
So the members of the expedition, there were a number of them.
As I continue making sure his glass is full.
There was Dr. Henry Clive. He was the head archaeologist. There was a Martin Winfield. He was another archaeologist, well-connected second son of a British member of Parliament. He and Clive occasionally butted heads. I think that he felt that Clive's methods were too conservative. But he was one of the only ones that was nice to me after I left the expedition. There was
They didn't hold you responsible or something.
They,
from the sounds of it, nobody could be.
I think they wanted to. Well, I sometimes have a fondness for the drink. After things all fell apart, I got really drunk. I mean, can you blame me? We make this find of the century, and then it disappears without a trace under our very noses. And, well, they fired me for showing up the next day still drunk.
And they needed to pin it on somebody.
Also in the party was Miss Agatha Broadmoor. She was a interesting woman, claimed to have psychic powers, claimed that she knew things about Egypt. Was James Gardner, another archaeologist. He had some interesting theories. written a number of books about Egypt, as well as being on several digs. Um, something about the Sphinx he was worried about, but I don't really remember. Oh, he had some crazy idea that there was tunnels under the Sphinx, I think. And then there was Johanna Specht, another archaeologist. She's German. Sharp lass, could sight read hieroglyphics.
What was she like?
Very German.
Ah. In a good way or a bad way?
A little of both. A little too much of both.
Well, you and I both understand how Germans can be.
Elsa, put down the grill.
All right. Um, and what did they think of? How'd they take the everything disappearing? How were everybody's reactions to all this?
I will admit, I didn't stay for long. Clive said he needed to cut expenses and let me go right after it happened. Everyone seemed just completely shocked by this, and packed up abruptly and left for Memphis.
Hmm. This is unfortunate. For you, at least. And it sounds like a sad thing for the expedition. Do you know why they've gone to Memphis? Or did you have an idea why they might go there from previous conversations?
No idea. I think it was a Hail Mary to try and find something else. See if they could, this having lost the one great find that they could find at Giza, maybe they can find something to salvage Clive's reputation.
Are they still out there?
They're still
They're
at
out-
Memphis, yes.
They're in Memphis. Well, I'd be more than glad to help you out with this translation. This does seem interesting. How did you find out about this temple and these papers?
Well, as I mentioned, my dear friend Martin Winfield actually put me on to this. He told me that of the location of this small temple, and I I went in there and found these impossibly ancient papyrus scrolls covered in hieroglyphics in the base of a statue.
Hmm. I said, oh, we have some. I can't remember what. I can't remember to the keeper. Do we have something specific we're doing tomorrow? Our characters
No,
that we had. No.
you have no. The only plans that you've made is that you said that you would
Help guard.
help guard the
All right.
mosque.
All right. Well, I might be able to help you with some translating tomorrow, if that is if that's okay with you.
Certainly, yes, that would be great.
Do you want me to meet you in this area, or do you want me to, or shall we meet someplace else?
No, meet at my meet in my rooms.
Mhm.
I don't dare take my prize out from there.
Mhm. All right. Is there any questions you guys want to ask? Okay.
Well,
For me, I think we just it'd be interesting to see what those scrolls contain.
Mm-hmm. We'll take a look at it tomorrow then. What do you think? I
So-
figure we have enough time to head back to the hotel, gear up, and head to the mosque. What do you think?
sounds like a plan.
So, as you guys stand up and get ready to leave the bar, you notice that there's 6 or 7 cats that are at the back of the room that you don't remember seeing when you came in.
Are they menacing cats?
Or are they just, cats keeping an eye on everything?
At the moment, they don't appear to be menacing anyone.
Just be, well, you remember, gentlemen, Egypt is, the place of cats. But I do take notice. All right. Shall we head back to the hotel?
The cat's stopping us from leaving.
The
No,
cats
they
are
aren't.
not stopping you from leaving.
Not
They
yet.
wrap them. They keep on going in between your legs and purring. You cannot leave. You must pet us. All right. We will head out then.
Very good. You head back to your hotel.
Make sure his booze has been paid for.
Excellent. You head back to your hotel.
And we have a quick dinner. And
Gear up.
gear up and head to the mosque.
Very well. Then I would say let's pick things up at the mosque next time. Just gonna look at my calendar quickly. 2 weeks out would be the 12th. That work for everybody?
Yep, should.
Does this time of shifting half an hour earlier also work for everybody?
Works
Hey,
okay
man,
for
I'm-
me.
Yep.
I'm stuck at home.
Yes.
It feels
Cool.
like a Blurns day.
And quite honest, I could probably play next week too, but
Tomorrow.
And the
Day
next
after.
day, and the next day.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, let's aim for the 12th at 7:30, and thank you all very much for playing tonight. Those of you watching us live on Twitch, thank you very much for coming in and spending time with us. And those of you on Twitch, stick around. I'm going to send you over to my friend Pondo the Mad, who's playing some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Everybody else, thank you for coming by, and we will see you all next time. Take care, everybody.